Good evening, this is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from a YouTube channel that contains my part series, The Week That Was College Football History Review, the 1987 college football season, the major college bowl games that was played. We're going to start with Independence Bowl. December 19th, Washington beat Tulane 24-12. Playing their best defense, Huskies of Washington held Tulane offense to single field goal, even though Green Wave had averaged 417 yards and 32 points per game in regular season. Tulane's touchdown came on a 44-yard punt by a punt returner Mitchell Price, who tied game 7-7 in first quarter. Meanwhile, Washington flexed his muscles in second quarter as quarterback Chris Chandler sandwiched two drives around kicker Todd Wiggins' chip shot field goal for Tulane, capping them a pair of 5-yard touchdown passes caught by tight end Bill Ames and wide receiver Darrell Franklin. Both defenses dominated second half as only a point scored came on fourth and quarter field goal by Huskies kicker Channing Wiles. Meanwhile, intentional safety was taken by Washington with 7 seconds left. Chandler threw 15 of 30 for 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Tailback Vince Weathersby ran for 84 yards and a touchdown while catching 5 passes from 64 yards. Green Wave wide receiver Mark Zeno continued his brilliant year with 7 catches for 116 yards receiving. All-American Bowl. Virginia beat Brigham Young 22-16. This ball game. Cavaliers was 8-4. The Cougars was 9-4. In the Sun Bowl, Oklahoma State beat West Virginia 35-33. Known for offensive firepower, Cowboys needed the defensive stop at games end to win exciting Sun Bowl that in reality was more like a sleet and snow bowl. After Mountaineers marched 58 yards late in the fourth quarter to pull within 35-33 on a 6-yard touchdown run by fullback Craig Taylor, Oklahoma State defensive tackle Sean Mackey made tackle of tight end Keith Wynn on goal line to stop 2-point conversion. Wynn caught pass at 3-yard line, but could only lunge inside the 1-yard line. West Virginia had enjoyed a 24-14 halftime lead. The tailback Eddie Brown ran for 2 touchdowns, 107 yards on his total of 167 yards. Meanwhile, the Cowboys rallied in the third quarter as tailback Thurman Thomas, who rushed for 157 yards, 4 touchdowns, scored from 4 yards out to cap a 6-play, 56-yard drive. That feature solely has rushing. Cowboys quarterback Mike Gundy hit tight end J.R. Dillard on a 6-yard touchdown pass for a 28-27 lead. Aloha Bowl, December 25th. UCLA beat Florida 20-16. The Bruins won a 6 straight bowl despite gaining 221 yards to 373 yards for Florida and needing lucky bounce to score a winning touchdown. UCLA tailback Danny Thompson caught a 5-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Troy Aikman on a play in which he fell to end zone but still caught ball after tipped by Gators defensive back Kerry Watkins. Watkins' deflection sent ball downward where Thompson waited flat on his back. The Bruins decisive touchdown, which was set up by block punt by special teamer David Keating and returned 17 yards to Florida's 17-yard line by Randy Beverly, the defensive back. It gave the Bruins a 17-10 lead. Meanwhile, the fumble recovery set up next UCLA score. Kicker Alfredo Velasco, second field goal, so Bruins were scoring without gaining much yards. Florida quarterback Kerwin Bell tossed 14-yard touchdown pass to fullback Anthony Williams to do close scoring. The final Florida threat expired at UCLA 20-yard line. Gates front four sacked Aikman 5 times and allowed Bruins, albeit without starting tailback Gaston Green, fullback Mel Farr, only 48 yards rushing. Florida offense was led by tailback Emmitt Smith, who ran for 128 yards. Meanwhile, Georgia in the Liberty Bowl beat Arkansas 20-17. As Georgia cornerback Carver Russell kicked off pass in Razorbacks territory that Georgia converted into 3-play, 20-yard drive to lead to John Casey's winning field goal. In the Freedom Bowl, Arizona State beat Air Force 33-28. In the Holiday Bowl, Iowa beat Wyoming 20-19 in the Holiday Bowl. Now, the tough luck Cowboys shut down Iowa attack for 3 quarters but allowed touchdowns on block punt, interception return that keep Iowa in contention. High guards trailed by only 19-14 early in the fourth quarter when they marched 86 yards to win game on a 1-yard touchdown run by fullback David Hudson. Winning drive featured 48 yards connection with quarterback Chuck Hartlieb as wide receiver Travis Watkins. Wyoming then moved into Hawks territory before Iowa cornerback Vernon Hanks blocked a 52-yard field goal sent by kicker Greg Worker 46 seconds left. Hanks made punt block earlier, stuffing punter Tom Kilpatrick's boot that was bounced on by safety Jay Hess for touchdown in second quarter. Still, Wyoming led 17-7 at halftime as Worker kicked the 2 field goals. Meanwhile, quarterback Greg Burnett threw a 15-yard touchdown to wide receiver James Loving and tailback Joe Abraham rushed for the yard score. Burnett set Holiday Bowl records for attempts, but had one regret: his overthrown pass on second play, a fourth quarter that was intercepted by cornerback Anthony Wright. Returned it 33 yards for touchdown. Iowa secondary, playing without suspended starters cornerback Joe Mott and safety Dwight Sistrom, earned measure of redemption as Holiday Bowl was decided by 1 point for fifth time in its 10-year history. Second straight such win by Iowa. The Gator Bowl. Louisiana State beat South Carolina 30-13. The Gamecocks' Black Death defense surrendered only 10 points per game in regular season, but allowed 2 touchdowns in games opening 5 minutes to Louisiana State. Both scores came on passes from quarterback Tommy Hodson to wide receiver Wendell Davis against a blitzing defense that assigned single defensive back unlucky cornerback Robert Robinson to Speedy Davis. Davis caught touchdown passes of 39 and 12 yards in the first quarter, added 25-yard touchdown. In the third quarter, Tigers never looked back, part because of beating they gave quarterback Todd Ellis, who was sacked 7 times, hurried into interceptions of 4. It didn't help that Ellis broke middle finger on non-throwing hand in the second quarter. Tailback Harold Green scored sole touchdown for Gamecocks on a 10-yard run in the fourth quarter, not nearly enough to keep Carolina from falling to all-time 0-7 in bowl games. In the Blue Bonnet Bowl, Texas beat Pittsburgh 32-27. The Citrus Bowl, Clemson beat Penn State 35-10. In the Fiesta Bowl, Florida State beat Nebraska 31-28. Florida State quarterback Danny McManus turned in finest performance of his career, going for a game record 375 passing, 375 yards passing, and heroically hitting wide receiver Ronald Lewis, winning 15-yard touchdown pass on 4th down late in the fourth quarter. Last touchdown pass represented tremendous reversal, capped a 97-yard drive that began with defensive tackle Eric Hayes' recovery of Nebraska I-back Therese Knox. Fumble just when Huskers looking to finish off FSU. McManus went 5 for 7, 95 yards on a 97-yard drive. Winning drive with big 43-yard pass play to tailback Dexter Carr to 2-yard line. Nebraska had 3 minutes left after Lewis touchdown, but drive stalled as quarterback Steve Taylor's 58-yard completion to wide receiver Morgan Gregory was wiped out by a penalty. Earlier, Nebraska had used great special teams play to grab a 14-0 fourth quarter lead when wingback Richard Bell's 27-yard return on a punt set up a 2-yard touchdown run by I-back Keith Jones to open scoring. Wingback Dana Brinson took another punt 52 yards all the way for a second touchdown. Seminoles answered quarterback Dan McManus hit wide receiver Herb Gann twice for touchdowns that sandwiched fullback Dane Williams' 4-yard touchdown run to grab a 21-14 lead at halftime. Taylor, who rushed for 75 yards, passed for 142 yards, tied game with a 2-yard scoring run early in the third quarter after nose kicker Derek Smith hit 32-yard field goal. Nebraska converted 5-yard punt by FSU punter Rick Tootin into a 52-yard drive for a 4-yard scoring run by Knox. With 28-24 lead, Nebraska then moved downfield to FSU 2-yard line before Knox's fumble set up. Winning drive by Seminoles. In the Cotton Bowl, Texas A&M beat Notre Dame 35-10. Making third straight Cotton Bowl appearance, Aggies showed young Notre Dame squad to think up to while postseason play. Dallas Navin, Heisman Trophy winner, wide receiver Tim Brown had 105 yards receiving 6 catches, but Fighting Irish up 7-0 with 17-yard scoring percentage from quarterback Terry Adjorziak. After spotting Irish 7-0 lead, Aggies began to take advantage of Notre Dame's miscues by scoring 29 points after turnovers. Teams traded field goals before half. Irish moved again to Texas A&M territory, on a drive that ended with Aggies cornerback Alex Morris made momentum swinging interception in end zone. At the time, Notre Dame had gained 208 yards to 73 yards by A&M. Aggies rolled 80 yards for a score on a 24-yard pass from halfback Darren Lewis to wide receiver Tony Thompson late in the second quarter. Moments later, Tony Jones recovered from by fullback Braxton Banks, which led to a 2-yard halfback Larry Horton run with 26 seconds left in the first half, broke Notre Dame's back at 17-10. The Texas A&M wrecking crew defense dominated the second half, shutting down the rushes of Notre Dame, who made only 74 yards for the game, 176 less than its average. A&M also switched out of zone coverage to double cover Brown while putting more pressure on Andrew Aziat. Notre Dame managed only 76 yards off in the second half, while freshman quarterback Bucky Richardson, who alternated with quarterback Lance Pavias, ran for 2 touchdowns, capping short drives of 23 and 30 yards to stretch Aggies' lead. In the Rose Bowl, Michigan State beat Southern California 20-17. In the Peach Bowl, Tennessee beat Indiana 27-22. In the Sugar Bowl, there was a tie between Auburn and Syracuse 16-16. Only result in 54-yard history of Sugar Bowl left bitter taste, especially for Syracuse squad aiming for perfect season. With ball on Syracuse 13-yard line as clock wound down, Auburn coach Pat Dye opted for tying field goal decision he would have to defend during the entire offseason. Dye leaped in excitement when 30-yard field goal kick by kicker Win Lyles cleared for the crossbar route. Players except for Happy Loud on both sides looked disappointed. Many fans booed. Teams had matched each other touchdown for touchdown, field goal throughout the game, with Syracuse taking its first lead at 16-13 on kicker Tim Versling's third field goal with 2:04 left. Auburn quarterback Jeff Berger then led the final drive, completing 10 of 11, 62 yards before Lyles' final three-pointer. Orange-man quarterback Dominic Pearson was named MVP, but Auburn defense sacked him 5 times, held him to 104 yards passing, wide receiver Lloyd Tillman caught 6 passes for 125 yards. Tigers' only touchdown, 17-yard effort after he nabbed 55-yard pass. Berger's touchdown pass gave Auburn a 7-0 lead, but his interception to defensive back David Holmes set up a 58-yard drive for Orange that tied game on a 12-yard touchdown pass from McPherson to wide receiver Devil Glover. The Tigers took 10-7 lead at halftime, 40-yard field goal by Lau. Syracuse then marched to Auburn 1-yard line with opening possession of third quarter before stalling and settling on first of 3 field goals by Vesling. Interestingly, Syracuse left with Sugar Championship trophy, while Auburn was sent replica called. Finally, Orange Bowl, Miami Hurricanes beat the Oklahoma Sooners 20-14. Beating the Sooners for third straight year, Miami won rare bowl matchup of teams with perfect records. Hurricanes grabbed second national title in the 1980s and first under coach Jimmy Johnson have then suffered 3 straight bowl losses. Much is made of how Sooners could not handle Miami's passing, but speed on King's defense and Coach Johnson's knowledge of OU Wishbone offense had as much to do with win as anything. Miami held explosive Sooners Wishbone to 179 yards rushing, which in many ways marked the philosophical end to Wishbone strategy in college ball. Quarterback Steve Walsh led Miami offense with 2 touchdown passes, putting it in lead. 30-yard touchdown pass to fullback Melvin Bratton to cap opening series. Bratton ran to open space to finish the game with almost half a team's receiving yards total, with 9 catches for 102 yards. Opening drive was remarkable given that Miami had to shuffle offensive line due to absence of 2 starters. Walsh's only interception by safety Ricky Dixon sent Sooners on a 49-yard drive to have back Anthony Stafford's tying 1-yard touchdown run late in the second quarter. Walsh made amends in the third quarter with clutch plays on 2 scoring drives. Walsh converted twice on 3rd and 8 situation on a 27-yard drive. It's a booming 56-yard field goal by kicker Greg Cox that put Kings ahead 10-7. Walsh soon took Miami 64 yards in 12 plays to his 23-yard touchdown pass in the corner, then zone to wide receiver Michael Irvin. Walsh threw a 6-yard pass to Bratton on 4th and 4 at OU 29-yard line early in the drive. Cox bumped lead to 20-7, 48-yard field goal for Oklahoma closed scoring with play barrel from Nebraska guard Tom Hudson rumbling 29 yards. Touchdown from Brewski late in the fourth quarter. Hurricanes was the only team to score 20 points against the Sooners in the 1987 season. The drug testing had taken center stage prior to the game as Miami linebacker George Myra Jr. and offensive tackle John O'Neill were ruled ineligible and fought in court all week. Myra's replacement linebacker Bernard Clark was named Coleman MVP, marking second straight year sub linebacker won such award following Oklahoma's Dante Jones, who replaced ineligible linebacker Brian Bosworth a year earlier. Meeting of top rated two teams was 23rd such at the time for such a game, 8th in the bowl game. Close look at 1987 college football season. One more game was Michigan versus Alabama, a Hall of Fame bowl. Michigan won 28-24. What was shaping up to be a miserable game for Michigan quarterback Demetrius Brown ended briefly as Brown threw a winning touchdown pass 20 yards on fourth down to wide receiver John Kosar with 50 seconds left. Early on, winning 62-yard drive, Brown hit wide receiver Greg McMurtry with a 31-yard pass. Wolverines had built a 21-3 lead on superb running of tailback Jamie Morris, who finished with career best 234 yards rushing, touchdown runs of 14, 25, 77 yards. Crimson Tide had great back of their own in tailback Bobby Humphrey, had 149 yards and 27 carries, who, with help from quarterback Jeff Dunn, that had come back from 18-point deficit. Dunn threw 16 yards scoring past the tight end Howard Cross, while Humphrey twice reached end zone on runs. Alabama finished with 28-12 advantage in first downs as they outgained Wolverines 460 yards to 346 yards. Michigan coach Bo Schembechler had had to miss his first matchup of traditional finals after undergoing second quadruple heart bypass surgery in mid-December. That concludes a look at that for the regular season and the postseason all season of the 87. AP poll looked like this on January 3rd. Arizona was 20, Michigan 8-19, 18 Southern California, 17 Notre Dame, 16 Iowa, 15 South Carolina, 14 Tennessee, 13 Georgia, 12 Clemson, 11 Oklahoma State, 10 Texas A&M, 9 UCLA, 8 Michigan State, 7 Auburn, 6 Nebraska, 5 Louisiana State, 4 Syracuse, 3 Oklahoma, 2 Florida State, and number 1 Miami. Top performance formula went to Miami, number 1. Top opponents records went to number 1 Notre Dame. Out of conference records went to Southeastern Conference, 37-17-2 record with a percentage of 6-7-8-6, 2-2-1 in the bowl. Individual statistical leaders, 1987 you had Albert Woods with 1,658 yards rushing, 259 carries, 6.4 yards carry. For his passing yards, you had Todd Santos, San Diego State, 306 completions, 492 attempts, 3,932 yards, and 62.2% completion. Receiving yards, Guy Liggins, San Jose State, 77 catches, 1,208 yards. Like I said, passing yards was Todd Santos, San Diego State. 1987 Sixers All-American team, wide receiver Tim Brown, Notre Dame, Wendell Davis, Louisiana State, tight end Keith Jackson, Oklahoma. The offensive line, Mark Hudson, Oklahoma, Dave Cadigan, Southern California, John Elliott, Michigan, Brandon McDaniel, Arizona State. Centers were Nacho Albergamo, Louisiana State, quarterback Don McPherson, running backs, Lorenzo White, Michigan State, Craig Haywood, Pittsburgh, David Trevor, Clemson was the place kicker. For the defense of my defense, consistent defense All-American team. For the defensive lineman, Daniel Stubbs of Miami, Chad Hennings, Air Force, Tracy Rocker, Auburn, Ted Gregory, Syracuse, John Roper, Texas A&M. The linebackers, Chris Spielman, Ohio State, Andre Bruce, Auburn, Dante Jones, Oklahoma. For the defensive backfield, the secondary, Benny Blaze, Miami, Deion Sanders, Florida State, Ricky Dixon, Oklahoma, Chuck Cecil, Arizona. And the punter, Tom Tupa. The Heisman Trophy vote, 1987, Tim Brown won the Heisman. Senior wide receiver for Notre Dame had 1,442 votes. Don McPherson was second. Senior quarterback Syracuse, 831. Gordy Lockbaum, senior tailback, defensive back of Holy Cross, 657. 632 votes went to Lorenzo White, senior tailback of Michigan State, and Craig Haywood, junior tailback, Pittsburgh, 170. Major awards that were won for the 1987 college football season. Don McPherson won the Maxwell Award. Tim Brown won the Walter Camp Award. Chad Hennings, Outland Trophy Award. Chris Spielman won the Lombardi Award. Davey O'Brien, Don McPherson won that award. Jim Dort Award went to Benny Blaze and Ricky Dixon. Dick Buckus Award went to Paul McGowan. Don McPherson won the John Unitas Award. Dick McPherson won the Coach of the Year Award, the AFCA. So that concludes look at college football season review, the 1987 college football season. Overall, I'll do a video of this magnitude on Thursday. Look at the 1988 college football overview. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. Do a video of this magnitude tomorrow. Till then, talk to you on Thursday.